It's time for another WrestlePlanet news update as a video surfaces of a current NXT star with CM Punk. An AEW wrestler has called out controversial megastar Jake Paul, and we have an update on Jeff Hardy following that strange incident at a WWE live event. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so you don't miss any future videos. In October, Major League Wrestling would announce that current New Japan Pro Wrestling star and former IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Will Ospreay was set to debut for the promotion, with this set to take place this month at the Melrose Ballroom in New York City. In an update provided by SE Scoops, the planned debut has now been scrapped, with Ospreay confirming to them that the deal is off. According to the report, MLW's working relationship with New Japan fell through in November, which is when the Ospreay plans were nixed. MLW are said to have informed New Japan that they were also working with All Japan Pro Wrestling, which didn't sit well with them. Whilst New Japan are currently working with fellow Japanese promotion Pro Wrestling Noah, it seems they weren't happy about the All Japan deal. It's currently unknown why New Japan felt this way, with them having worked with All Japan in the past, although it should be noted that Noah was in fact spawned from a mass exodus of All Japan in 1999, with this perhaps having something to do with it. On November 18th, Isaiah Swerve Scott would be released from WWE alongside his remaining Hit Row stablemates, with many feeling that he is set to reach new heights now that he is a free agent. Over the past week, Scott has posted a number of photos on his social media accounts alongside several AEW wrestlers including Malakai Black, Sammy Guevara, and Eddie Kingston. Whilst he is still serving his 90-day non-compete clause on his WWE contract, Scott has been working on bringing back his Swerve City podcast, which was previously on the WWE network. It has been confirmed that his first two guests will be Eddie Kingston, followed by fellow WWE release Taya Valkyrie, with Malakai and Guevara also likely guests for the show. The AEW theme of his podcast is certainly interesting, with many fans expecting him to show up on AEW Dynamite when he is officially free, with him no doubt being a great addition to the roster with tremendous potential. Next up, we have a report from PW Insider that suggests that a WWE Hall of Famer has signed a brand new contract with the company. Word going around backstage at last night's WWE Raw tapings in Memphis, Tennessee suggests that Jerry the King Lawler has put pen to paper on a new deal, with his previous deal having been set to expire at the end of the year. Whilst there's no word on the length of the contract, he is set to stay with WWE for the foreseeable future. Lawler would turn 72 this year and made his most recent appearance for WWE a few weeks back on the Survivor Series kickoff show. Whilst he's not an active commentator on WWE's television shows, it seems that they want to keep him around for a while longer. Lawler still competes in the ring outside of WWE on the independent circuit, and he also operates King Jerry Lawler's Hall of Fame Bar and Grill in Memphis, the place where he grew his wrestling legend during the Territory days. With WWE rebranding NXT to NXT 2.0 in recent months, the leading man of the show has been Bron Breakker, who seems to be highly regarded by WWE higher-ups. As the son of Rick Steiner and the nephew of Scott Steiner, Breakker has wrestling in his blood and appears to be the total package that WWE looks for in a future star. This week, Breakker would speak with Vibe and Wrestling and discuss his future in the company, stating that one of his goals is to have a match at WrestleMania, and he would go on to name his dream opponents on the current roster, and he said, "I will fight Roman Reigns one day for sure. I will beat him one day too." As far as Raw goes, obviously Seth Rollins. There are just tons of guys between both brands. Bobby Lashley is another one. Big E is obviously WWE Champion right now. Drew McIntyre too. Breakker would go on to reveal that whilst his family have influenced his performances, he would name some other pro wrestling legends that he studies, and he added, "Triple H I would have to go with, he is one for sure. I just really liked his style. He didn't have to do high-flying stuff because he was a big power guy. He was just a beast. I like Goldberg a lot, I like Steve Austin, I like Kurt Angle as well. I watch pretty much all of those guys. I watch those guys back on a regular basis for the knowledge. Maybe I can learn some more psychology about the match or what story they're telling and why they're doing certain stuff." Bron Breakker is coming off the back of a victory in the men's War Games match this past weekend at NXT TakeOver, where he secured a pinfall win on NXT champion Tommaso Ciampa. This seems to be setting up a title match between the two, with Breakker heavily expected to be the brand's next champion. This week it was revealed that an AEW wrestler is set to appear on a reality TV show on the E! Network. Austin Gunn, son of Billy Gunn, is set to appear on the relatively famous Ranch Rules reality series, which will premiere on Wednesday, January the 12th. The show will follow 8 celebrity offsprings as they venture from Hollywood to a working ranch in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. There they'll take on a series of outrageous, messy, and challenging jobs in an attempt to prove that they're more than their famous last names, and more importantly, try and reopen the ranch after a year of shutdown and loss due to the pandemic. Gunn will be joined by 7 celebrity sons and daughters of more famous mothers and fathers, including Miles O'Neill, who is the son of Shaquille O'Neal, as well as Taylor Hasselhoff, who is the daughter of Baywatch's David Hasselhoff. There will be a special sneak peek preview tonight after the People's Choice Awards on E! And NBC, with the first 2 episodes set to premiere on Wednesday, January 12th at 9 PM Eastern. This weekend, Cora Jade would compete in the Women's War Games match at NXT TakeOver, becoming the youngest competitor in the match's long history. On top of this, she would be the one to pin JC Jane to secure the victory for her team. Following the match, several videos surfaced online of Jade meeting AEW star CM Punk at past meet and greets, and is seemingly a huge fan of the straight-edge superstar. One of the clips showed Jade meeting Punk alongside her father, who would go on to thank her idol for being a good role model for his daughter, citing his straight-edge lifestyle as a great example for her to look up to, which carries over into school in being a strong person. After this, another video popped up with Cora asking Punk a question at a fan Q&A early on in his UFC career, with Punk going on to joke that she is at every signing and every event that he does. After the NXT TakeOver War Games event, Cora Jade would post a photo on her Twitter account of a sneaker with a motivational message written on the side by no other than AJ Lee, who is of course CM Punk's wife and somebody else that Jade has looked up to. This just shows that CM Punk and AJ Lee are the heroes that we all need. Last night it was revealed that controversial YouTube and boxing star Jake Paul would no longer be fighting Tommy Fury on December 18th, with the latter pulling out due to injury and illness. Whilst the brother of Tyson Fury hopes to secure a new date for the fight with Paul, the December event will now see a new opponent replace him. Before the official replacement was announced, AEW star Anthony Ogogo would take to Twitter to challenge Jake Paul, offering to step in for Fury on short notice. Ogogo, who is an Olympic bronze medalist in the sport, as well as a reality television star appearing on Celebrity Big Brother, would say, "Jake Paul, you shitbag. I've seen one British TV star / sporting heartthrob has pulled out. This TV star / sporting heartthrob will happily take his place on 12 days notice. I haven't had a pair of gloves on in 3 years, but I'll still spank you like the bitch you are." Despite the call-out, Jake Paul's opponent was announced to be the former UFC welterweight champion Tyron Woodley, who lost to Paul in August via a split decision. Whilst the Ogogo vs Paul fight is unlikely, we have seen stranger things happen in boxing in recent years. And finally, as we discussed in yesterday's news video, WWE Superstar Jeff Hardy was sent home from a live event in Edinburgh, Texas, following a strange incident during a match. Hardy would compete in a 6-man tag team match teaming with Xavier Woods and Drew McIntyre to take on current WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns, as well as SmackDown Tag Team Champions The Uso in the main event of the show. Reports from fans say that Hardy spent most of the match in the ring, growing more sluggish as it went on. Fan footage of the event shows Hardy climbing over the crowd barricade before walking off. The next day, Jeff was pulled from a live event tour before being sent home. Whilst there is no official reason known for the incident, Jeff's brother Matt Hardy would address the situation during a live stream on Twitch last night. Appearing alongside his wife Rebby Hardy, the couple would be bombarded with questions about Jeff, wanting to know if he is okay, and Rebby would tell Matt, "We got a lot of questions about TOH, the other Hardy. We got a lot, we can't ignore them, we got a lot." Matt would then respond, But no, I won't ignore them. I did speak to Jeff for a little bit today and he's okay. He's good and I think he'll be fine. But once again, this isn't my business, and if he wants to go into it in more detail, then he'll do it himself. But like, Jeff is okay, he is at home and he's okay. There is still no word on when Jeff Hardy will return to action, but his fans will feel a little bit more assured following Matt's comments confirming that his brother is okay. Jeff is currently scheduled to work a match this Friday on WWE SmackDown, where he will take on Happy Corbin, and we'll keep you updated should any news break regarding the situation. And before you go, make sure you check out 10 shocking WWE to AEW signings that we need to see.